Hey folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. So happy you're with us now. We're going to talk about foods that age you. And the reason I say that is because many times when people go out and have festivities, they'll go to restaurants, they'll go to parties, what's Christmas or Thanksgiving or 4th of July or whatever. And you think to yourself, well, I'm just going to treat myself. I'm going to splurge. Now, some people splurge every day because they're worth it. But you have to understand the consequences. Whatever you do, there's it was an equal and opposite reaction, right? There's always going to be consequences if you're doing things that are not good for you, even short term. Well, I'm only going to speed today because I'm in a rush. Well, you might not get caught today, but if you keep doing it over and over again, eventually you're going to get caught. If you're going to steal, eventually you're going to get caught. If you're going to eat bad, eventually it's going to catch up to you. And here's the thing with food. You have to eat anyway. Why not eat good food? It really is just that simple. I can choose to put something good in my mouth. Apples, peaches, pears, bananas, pineapples, kiwis, mangoes, super greens, essential source. Or I can choose to have bacon and eggs and sausage and white bread and toast and waffles. And eventually I'm going to see the reaction, pro or con, to either one of them. It has to catch up to you, good or bad. And I want the good stuff to catch up to you and keep that going. So certain foods are going to age you, and you just want you to consider this. Now, I like spicy foods. I'm Italian, half Italian. I like spicy foods. But some people have reactions to it. You might get something called rosacea, for this, which is common in women after menopause, where they just turn bright red in their face, and it looks like a butterfly rash on their face. And heat can trigger that. Now, heat can also increase circulation, spicy foods. It also can uproot romance because it does increase circulation. It opens up the blood vessels to the organs and the head and everything like that. So there's a pro and a con to spicy foods. But if you're having a bad reaction to it, don't eat it. I don't like spicy foods. Well, then don't eat spicy foods. I've had people say to me too, well, I could never eat a plant-based diet. I don't like tofu. Well, don't eat tofu. I can't remember the last time I had tofu. No, I like tofu. I have no problem with it. I'll make like a scrambled egg tofu in the morning type thing, and I'll just, crush it up, add a bunch of turmeric to it, some curry, maybe some tamari, which is like a fancy high-end soy sauce that doesn't have monosodium glutamate in it, and maybe some pepper, cayenne or something like that. And I add a little bit of oatmeal to it, too. It adds a little texture, which is kind of cool. And I'll just smash it up and, cook it up. You put it in a broiler or an air fryer, and you could have scrambled tofu for breakfast. Very filling, extremely inexpensive. I mean, you can get a serving for $1 and tastes great. But you don't have to have tofu to eat healthy. It can be part of a protocol, but it doesn't have to be the only protocol. So understand that if there's something you don't like, that's okay. I estimate there's about 120,000 good foods that you can eat. And you can pick any ones you want. And if you don't like this 10, well, don't eat that 10. Choose the other ones. So, well, I don't like fruits. Okay, you eat bananas? Yeah, I like bananas. How about apples? Yeah, I like apples. Well, there's 2 right there. Well, I don't like mangoes. Well, then don't eat mangoes. So, anyway, I digress. Margarine. Years ago, I was doing a show, and I talked about margarine. This is many years ago. Gosh. And I said that margarine is probably the number 1 cause of heart disease. Now, I was half right. Margarine was the number 1 cause of heart disease. And a couple of weeks later, on CNN, there was a report that said hydrogenated oils, like those found in margarine, are the number 1 cause of heart disease. And my mother called me up, and she said, did you hear the report on CNN? And I said, yes, I did. And she said, I'm not sure if you're a nut or a prophet. I haven't quite figured that out yet. And I said, probably a little bit of both. But hydrogenated oils, trans fats, you hydrogenate the oil, you add hydrogen molecules to it, which creates the trans fat. So the process of hydrogenation creates the trans fat. And that can raise your bad cholesterol, lower your good cholesterol, causes inflammation in the body. And inflammation is linked to things like heart disease and stroke. And that can certainly speed up your aging. So do not eat margarine because it's bad for you. Now, there are butters out there, plant-based butters. Some of them are really tasty. Some of them are awful. So if you try a plant-based butter, a butter-like product, you can't call it butter really, try one. If you don't like it, try a different one. There's probably, 30 I can think of right now, maybe 20 or 30 out there. Try different ones and see which ones you like. And you know what? Here's the thing. You shouldn't be using it anyway because it's a super high concentration of calories. I can't do butters, oils, even a lot of nuts because I put on weight. And I'll notice that. I'll say like, oh gosh, I had, I don't know, almond butter the other day. I bought some almond butter. It was on sale. And I ate a couple of tablespoons for a couple of days. And I thought, this shirt's fitting a little tighter. I wonder why that is. Because they're so super high concentration of calories. So butters, fats, oils, margarines, vegan butters, try to use them extremely sparingly, if at all. Even if you make popcorn, organic popcorn, always organic, right? Because corn is usually genetically modified. Organic popcorn, you can get spray-on oils if you want to, like a spray-on, you can buy a sprayer, a pump spray that you can spray on maybe olive oil or coconut oil. And spray it on, then you could add your seasonings just so it sticks to it. And then you're going to use a lot less oil. But remember, even corn. Where do we get corn oil from? Corn. So, again, popcorn, not bad, but it still can be a very high caloric food, and that can really put some weight on you too. So just be careful about that. But margarine, absolutely positively no. Ever again, you hear me? No margarine. Not allowed. Slap your hands. Sodas and energy drinks. They will really age you because the sugar, it creates something called free radicals. Now, free radicals are like Pac-Man. They eat through things, waka, 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 and they eat through things. And they can eat through your connective tissue, the tissue that holds your skin tight to your face. It holds the skin tight to your body. And you can get a lot of wrinkles. That's why if you know somebody who smokes, they always have that smoker's look about them, that haggard, wrinkled look. Because one puff of cigarettes, I used to say, had 100 billion free radicals in one puff. I was wrong. It's 100 trillion free radicals in one puff of cigarettes. So I don't know how many puffs to a cigarette. There's a lot. And then secondhand smoke also has the free radicals in it. So that's why smokers usually look so aged and haggard. So don't smoke. If you do smoke, go to our website, drjoe.com, if you have any addiction, and type in the word addiction. We did a show on it. I'm assuming it'll appear in the search bar, but we did a show on addiction, and you can listen to that show. We talk about how to get over addictions because many times I find it's a nutritional deficiency. Now, it's a chemical issue in the brain, which could be caused by a nutritional deficiency. So we have a protocol on that show to help get over addictions. And here's how it works. You got to do it. If you don't do it, it don't work. And it's easy because many times when you load yourself up with high concentration of nutrients, you get over your cravings. So whether it's alcohol or sugar or gambling or smoking or whatever it is, loaded high concentration of nutrients helps, like things like Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source. Probiotics can help the immune system. Glutathione is great for the liver. So all those supplements are on the website, drjoe.com. We can ship them to you if you want. We only charge you for shipping. We don't make big money on it. You can come pick them up. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. We'd love to be your doctors, but you can also just pick up the supplements there as well. All the information about our offices is on the website, drjoe.com. Over 2,000 hours of podcasts are on the website, drjoe.com. If you have questions, you could send them to me through the website. There's a little bot that pops up, and it says, hi, want to chat? And you could send us a question, and Joe, my assistant, or I will get back to you. And I'm always amazed because I'll wake up in the morning, and there's always several questions overnight from the website. So I'm thinking, what are people doing up at 2 o'clock in the morning sending me questions? I'm curious about that. But we always answer them. So the website's there 24 hours a day, drjoe.com, and you can get information about the supplements. And if you have questions, you could always send them to us, like I said. Other things. Oh, listen, but we did a show on soda, by the way. So if you type in the word soda on the website, you can listen to a whole show we did on soda and why it's so bad. I don't want to take up this whole show here on this. Frozen dinners, packaged foods, processed foods. Here's my rule. Read the ingredients. If you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. Now, there are certain things you can't pronounce that you probably should eat, like methylcobalamin, which is vitamin B12. And it's methylated, so it's easy to absorb. So you might not know what that word is, but generally speaking, if you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. There are many things I see on labels that I don't know what they mean. I remember years ago when I was just a puppy, I saw the words hydrolyzed vegetable protein. And I thought to myself, well, vegetables are good. and protein is good. So I guess hydrolyzed vegetable protein is good. Well, it turns out when you hydrolyze a vegetable protein, you free up something called glutamic acid. Glutamic acid is an excitotoxin to the brain. It causes the brain to fire faster than it's supposed to and can actually burn out your brain cells. So essentially, it's monosodium glutamate to make it. It's like that. And so hydrolyzed yeast, autolyzed yeast, hydrolyzed vegetable protein, not a good thing. But again, I didn't know what hydrolyzed meant, so I thought it was okay. Can't pronounce it, don't eat it. It's a very simple rule. Try to get foods with less ingredients in them. If the ingredients take up half the label, not a good idea. And the ultimate food is a food that doesn't have a label, like, fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds. That would be the ultimate food. But I understand there's a reality here. And in reality, we're going to make different choices. So try to get food you can pronounce. Frozen dinner is not a good idea. If you don't know what to eat, go to our website, drjoe.com, and just type in the words, ready, here they go, so what can I eat? So what can I eat? So what can I eat? Type that in, and I did a whole hour lecture. I was in a recording studio, and I did a whole hour on breakfast, lunches, dinner, snacks, raising kids, parties, holidays, Christmas, and it's just a lot of good information. Now, on the website, we have over 2,000 hours of podcast. How much you think that's worth? $100 a month? $50 a month? $1 a month? No charge for you. Because you're a listener, go to our website, drjoe.com, if you're not a listener. And whatever you search for, the information is no charge. I'm happy to give that to you as my gift to you. Now, if you have a podcast service, you can type in Dr. Joe for the health of it. Dr. Joe for the health of it. And there we have hundreds of hours of podcasts as well. Like this show will become a podcast eventually. So drjoe.com or Dr. Joe for the health of it. I can't make it easier for you, folks. Tune in whenever you want, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. On the website, search what topics you're looking for. We want to make this information as available as possible. And I love when I'm in places like, and I run into doctors or hospital administrators, insurance people, and they'll say, Dr. Joe, I want to tell you, your show has changed the way I practice medicine or podiatry or dermatology, gynecology, because I learned so much from your show. So I give you, the public, a lot of good information, but a lot of doctors are taking my information, utilizing it to better serve their patients. And I can't imagine a higher compliment than that. And I hear it all the time. It's still not getting old, by the way. So if you don't know what to eat, Dr. Joe for the health of it. So what can I eat? Dr. Joe for the health of it is our podcast. My first book is called Eating Right for the Health of It. And in Eating Right for the Health of It, we teach you how to change your diet as well. So if you want to go old school and get a book, that's available as well. And it teaches you how to change your diet, breakfast, lunches, dinner, snacks, and it has over 200 recipes in it. I don't go out to lunch very often. In fact, it's very rare that I do. I bring my lunch with me almost every day. Because A, it's a whole lot cheaper. B, it's a whole lot easier. I don't have to constrain myself to say, okay, I got to eat at 1 o'clock, whatever it is. And C, I know I'm going to get good quality food. So I'm blown away when I see people, struggling many times and they're buying lunch every day. Bring your own. If you don't know what to eat, Eating Right for the Health of It. It's on the website, drjoe.com. Make your own. You can make tofu egg salad. How about that? Not bad, actually. All right, other foods that age you. Alcohol. I have friends that drink. I'm a realist. I understand that. And the more they drink, the older they look. So that margarita might look good in the glass, but it ain't going to look good on your skin. Now, if you have cotton mouth in the morning, you ever wake up? I used to drink years ago. I never liked it, but I've drunk in the past. I drank in the past. I was drank and I got drunk. Alcohol dehydrates you. I always say, do you ever notice how you drink one beer, you pee out 3? Where those other 2 beers come from? Your body is giving up its own vital fluid to flush the alcohol out of the system because alcohol destroys the brain. And the brain controls what? Everything. As a chiropractor, as a non-surgical orthopedist, as a pain management expert, as a nutrition expert, I want to get you well as quickly as possible. And alcohol is one of those things that really just doesn't fit into that plan. So here's my rule. If you drink, for every drink you have to have 3 glasses of water. Pretty simple. Because the water is going to help rehydrate you. And I can go through the process. I don't want to make this whole show about alcohol. But if you go to the website, drjoe.com, and type in the words alcohol, we did a whole hour and a half show or an hour show on alcohol. So if you want to learn just about alcohol, we have a whole show on that. Now, it's interesting. We're talking about the foods that age you. Now, if you're new to the show, you don't know this, but I have a list of foods that I always call the 7 deadly sins. Now, the 7 deadly sins are alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. Now, I came up with those 30 years ago, maybe, just to keep it simple. Alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. And it turns out when I do my research on aging or heart disease or cancer or diabetes or irritable bowel syndrome or whatever it is, those 7 foods, unbeknownst to me at the time, constantly appear as the things you should avoid. So once again, my mother asked me, I'm not sure if you're a nut or a prophet. We might have been prophesizing at that time, and I say that jokingly, about what's the easiest way to change your diet. The easiest way to change your diet is cut out the bad foods. And that was alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. And then as the decades go by, we keep finding that they pop up all the time. So don't do them. So when you hear me do lectures, it always comes back to the 7 deadly sins. And meat, processed meats are just terrible. Pepperoni, bacon, sausage, ham, deli cuts, cured, smoked, salted. These things are just terrible. They have sodium in it. They have chemical preservatives in it. It causes inflammation. It literally wears out your body inside and out. So now little inflammation is good. Like if I scratch myself or I get a bee bite or something like that, my body's going to create a little bit of inflammation, and that's great. That protects me. But when you have systemic, through your whole system, inflammation, that's where you start to have problems. And most people are a highly inflamed lifestyle, not just diet, but even lifestyle. I remember I knew a gal one time, and if she hugged somebody, she said, he just felt poofy, she said. Poofy and inflamed, or she felt poofy and inflamed. And she was right. The sickest people felt the poofiest. So I don't want you to be poofy, and also speeds up the aging process, because that's what we're talking about. Other things that can speed up the aging process are joints, not the kind you smoke, in your body. If a joint is out of alignment, it can rub up against the bones above and below it and deteriorate the cartilage and the disc. We have a word for that. It's called osteoarthritis. So if you know somebody who has arthritis and the joints are wearing out, osteoarthritis is always mechanical. Rheumatoid arthritis is chemical. It's an autoimmune disease. Osteoarthritis is a physical reaction. The bones are rubbing up against each other. So osteoarthritis is physical or mechanical. Rheumatoid is an autoimmune disease. If you have an autoimmune condition, go to our website, drjoe.com, and type in the words autoimmune or immunity, and you can listen to the shows we did on that topic. So this website's a great source of information. And if you're a podcast junkie, go to your podcast service and type in Dr. Joe for the health of it. Dr. Joe for the health of it. And you could listen to our podcast there as well. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you can get as much Dr. Joe as you want. I've had people listen to every one of our 2,000 plus hours. I had a patient one time, he recorded every one of them. And he had these CDs, and he wrote all the shows like in a circle around the show. When the CD was filled up, he went to another one. So a lot of good information out there. And if you're one of those people who wants to listen to all of them, I think I'm the only person in the world that ever listened to all of them, because I said them, but he's listened to all of them. So a lot of good information, drjoe.com. But if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, chances are the bones in your body are out of place, rubbing up against each other. And they're wearing out, which speeds up the aging process. So if something's out of alignment, what's the most obvious, quickest, easiest thing to do? Realign it. And that's where my team of doctors come in. So if you'd like to make an appointment, if you have neck pain and back pain and shoulder pain and headaches and numbness and tingling, just come see us. I can't list all the symptoms we treat, but if you'd like to come see us, drjoe.com. You can book an appointment right online. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb, the Atlanta area. We plan on adding some more soon. Don't wait, though. Come see us right away. We accept almost every insurance known to man, Medicare, Ambetter. I mean, if I'm trying to throw weird ones out there, we cover them all. And normally the first visit is $720. We've reduced that to $299. That's an exam, x-rays, consultation, first adjustment, the follow-up visit going over all your x-rays and findings, explaining it to you, showing it to you, and a complete nutrition evaluation. Can't make it easier, folks. I don't know what to do to make it easier unless I came to your house. I'm not going to do that. So you want to make an appointment? Please do it right now. Don't wait. Pregnant women, car accidents, sports injuries, we treat them from cradle to grave, baby. We've treated them fresh out of the womb, and I've treated people over 100 years old too. Sorry about that. I just dropped something if you heard that. So, But we've treated people all the way across the board, and we would love to have you as a patient as well. So if you want to make an appointment, drjoe.com, and we are happy to set you up a time to come in and see us. And again, we accept almost all insurances, so you can feel free to bring your insurance with you, and we'll check it for you. Again, we check almost all of them. Other things that speed up the aging process. Fried foods. Please, please, please stay away from fried foods, because you take something like dough and you throw hot oil on it, and it creates something called free radicals. And the free radicals, we talked about that, are like Pac-Man. They eat through things, and they eat away at your cells. They literally just eat away at your cells. So please stay away from fried foods. I know they taste good. I'm Italian. I love Zeppelis, if you know what that is. It's just fried sweet yeast dough, wheat. Oh my gosh, what can make it worse unless you put cheese in it? And you can do that. You could actually, some people add ricotta cheese to it, or ricotta cheese, excuse me. I've been saying it wrong all these years. So we stay away from those foods. The fried foods are so bad for you. Again, I know they taste good. Mozzarella sticks, hush puppies, French fries. You're just throwing acid basically into your body and causing it to eat away at your cells. Baked goods, probably not as bad, but loaded with sugar, loaded with wheat. Again, what's the two foods you want to avoid at all costs? Wheat and dairy products. They're related to immune issues, inflammatory issues, digestive issues. There's no benefits to wheat and dairy except two. They taste good, and they're available. But there's substitutes for wheat. You can do gluten-free things, and there's substitute for every dairy product known to man. So you're fine there, so don't worry about it. We talked a little bit earlier about meat, but if you char the meat, if you grill meat and you get those little lines on it, those grill marks that taste so good, when you grill it, that creates something called heterocyclic amines. And heterocyclic amines are known carcinogens. And if you smell the charred meat, and it smells so good when you barbecue the meat, that's called polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, both of which are free radicals. They age you very quickly, which is what we're talking about today, and they're known carcinogens. So I don't eat meat. I'm not asking you to not eat meat. I've chosen well over 3 decades ago to not eat any animal products, and it works. If there was a better, healthier way to live my life, I would be doing it, and I'd be teaching you how to do it. But the protocol I feel everyone should have is a normally functioning nervous system. That's where chiropractic comes in. Check for pinched nerves. A normally functioning digestive system. If you have acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating, your stomach could be pushed up into your diaphragm, and that can cause those problems. And many, many, many times, the solution is simply pull the stomach back down away from the diaphragm. And it's an adjustment I've taught all my doctors to do. And the reason I taught them is they do it on me because I have this condition. And when you pull the stomach away from the diaphragm, you digest food, your breath freshens, your brain works better in most cases. Bloating, gas, diarrhea, constipation clears up. You absorb your nutrients better. No downside to it. So I'm almost out of time. If you have any questions, send them to me through the website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. There's a little bot that pops up, and you can just send your question to me. Most important thing is just make an appointment. Right now, between now and the end of the year, we may extend it, but probably not. Normally, the first visit is $720. We've reduced it to $299. That's an exam, x-rays, consultation, first adjustment, going over the x-rays, and a complete nutrition evaluation. We accept most insurances. Toward the end of the year, many times, if you don't use your money that's put aside from your company, you lose it. So we want you to come see us. And we want to be your doctors. Maybe you've met your deductible already. Either way, don't let money be the reason you're not getting care, because insurance companies should not dictate your care. Your doctor should. And we want to be your doctor. And if you've ever been in a car accident, come see us immediately. If the car was damaged, chances are you were damaged, and everyone in the car, including children. So once again, what's the website? drjoe.com. Folks, tell your friends about the show. I appreciate you being here. Talk to you next week.